Morning guys, Tonk here. Just another day on the van, just chipping away. I don't know if I think I showed you. I did all fill this in around here, stop the stones. Did a few little holes in her. I missed a bit there by look. That's good. Just whack a bit more around that today. If I got more sick, when I got more sicker, sorry. I've got to work out what I'm doing here. I've sikaflexed as much as I can around all these screws up there. Did that yesterday too. Everything helps stop them rattling a bit. And I did this yesterday as well as taking the solar off. You would have saw inside the door here. You can just see there. Fill that in. That'll be dry now. I'll get a little bit of paint and just paint that. I've got the paint here. A little bit of 4-in-1. Just get a brush. But I did this yesterday. Made a mud flap with a little extension on it, a bit of chain to hold it back, otherwise they get torn off. I was going to put one just there, but I don't think it needs it. Mainly just coming out this way. The vehicle's behind, and I've got to do one on the other side. Just got to drill 2 holes in here, one hole there to mount the chain to, and pull that one back the same, and count the links about the same, 14 links I think it is, I can remember. Then I might cut another piece. I've got some rubber flap there, and then I might screw a bit just in here, about 300 wide, 200 deep, or 300 deep, so it stops the mud getting flicked if on these. It might not because of this, but I'll just put it there, and if it gets torn off, it gets torn off. These can throw rocks forward sometimes, but generally don't. And this, I don't have any trouble because of the long mud flaps on this. Do they need reinforcing? No, she's all pulled in there good. She's already done one trip. And this has got the checker plate up the front, which I love for the stones hitting them. This here will have stones hitting this all the time and they'll fly off with a bit of luck. Yeah, I'm really digging the old girl. Alright, I'll just get to go on this. I think I've showed you the inside. Yes, I have. Just got to work out now. I think I'm going to put the 2 panels I took off back on, but I want to test them first. Only trouble is they come with them horrible bloody... I mean, they're not horrible, but they just don't match up to anything I got. I just can't plug anything in to test them. They got these M8 or whatever type connectors are, and they're not like you get every solar panel I've come across with them on, and I've kept them here. There's about 5 or 6 different shapes and sizes to them. You put Anderson plugs on, they're all the same, exactly the same. I'm not saying that they make the best connections, the Anderson plugs. Over time they become worse and you got to replace them, but yeah, I'd love to just hook it up and just see what it's doing. My battery's down a little bit there. I'd love to see it on a good day and just put them out in the open. If it's doing 15 or 20 amps, well, that's all we really need to charge this battery up when we're travelling. Yeah, anyway, I'll stop rambling, and I might just twist them together for a start and put them out there and see what they do. Right up, catch us later. Oh well, that one's on. I painted the back there, got a couple of dribbles. These on. I checked my solar panels, they're doing about 20 amps between the two. About 10 amps each for the 180s, which is, I don't know, I thought they should have been doing 12 anyway. Oh, 10's not too bad, I suppose. It was a bit sunny. Whoosh, it's warm out there. Yeah, so I've just about had enough of the old... I've had days on that van now. I just might have a bit of a spell away from it. I just got to mount that spare tyre rack underneath, and it's not that hard, just had enough of it. I might pull my solar panel off the Toyota one day and a few things like that. Work on the roof rack. Anyway, I don't know, this might be the last little bit on the van for a while. See what happens. I just noticed my big solar panel's got a bit of a hairline crack in it. I mustn't have had them mounted properly, or there's a bit too much twist. I'm thinking seriously of putting it on top of this van, but I'll have a look. I'll see. One day I'll just go and do a bit of mowing for something to do now. Alright, thanks for watching, catch you later. Alright guys, Tonk here. I forgot to film it, I thought the batteries were flat. But I've just been redoing the solar panels on the roof. I went down to AJ Steele's in Nambour and got I bought 2 full lengths of 6.5 metres of 3mm 50 by 3mm angle, it's alloy, and I got them cut into they were 3.25, whatever it is, which is, see how it sticks out there, and the same on this end, they come just through to the end. And I redid this. I've got 4 bigger screws down each side and then thicker in between. I've got another angle to go up here, just to stick in there. I'll only thicker that on. This will have 2 bolts here. There's a one there and one there, just these little 5mm bolts. They'll come right up through this as well. This lid's got to lift up. These little short fellas bolt through to this with a washer on the back, and it's thick it on too. Then I run the power cables down underneath, and this is up. See, gives it a nice little air gap there for get the breeze going under it. This has then got to be fully thickered down right along. No holes drilled in it at all. That's where the other people went wrong. You can see there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes, and it wasn't sealed properly, and the old lid did leak like a sieve. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. I was going to go bigger solar panels up here, but these little struts are they don't hold it up real well. This just makes it pretty good. And then I think I was telling you I've got to put some washers and that on each side of them, just to shore that up a bit too. I'll cut a bit of aluminium and put under them. If that bolt's long enough, I might have to use longer bolts, see what happens. But anyway, there's a little scissor up the front here too. But all this stuff is outside the van, hopefully. Hopefully I didn't wreck it when I put it down. There's a few seams need bloody work on them, and then maybe in a couple of years' time she might need a new skirt on it or something. But we'll just see what happens at the moment. If it's too bad, well, we'll just leave the lid down and just use it to camp, sleep in at night. Put the lid up when we get there and it's not raining. Good enough to keep the insects out. But yeah, so I've got to drill 2 holes there, put a couple of studs in, put thicker under them, a little bit angle up here, out this way. I'll just thicker that down. Back there too, there's one that needs to go in. But, and then I'll work out, I've got to put a fuse. Put probably a 25 or 20 amp fuse up here, something in between there, and that's about it. Then I'm going to, once I do that, I'm going to those 2 there, I think I've said they give me about 18-20 amps through the middle of the day, which should keep up to the batteries I think we're going to use. I'll see how they go. And yeah, I was going to go bigger, but I don't think the roof could handle the weight of all the actual struts pushing it up and down. Okay, that's about me. Yeah, I just sort of, then I'm going to do that spare tyre under the back. Yeah, she's just about wound up now. Alright, thanks for watching. Morning again. Tonk here. Oh, that just about tore the muscle in your leg. Holy hell, that bloody thing gets hot. Alright, there's another job done. I know my circumflexion is pretty rough, but she's beaded right underneath, right along there, those sides. Probably took a full tube and a bit. I'll stick her right down there. She's popping out, nearly all of it. Then she's bolted. I got 2 bolts in here, but I couldn't get another bolt in here because of the something's in the road in there, the mechanism for lifting. Got that 20 or 30 kilos, 20 kilos of weight just sitting there on a overnight or 2 to let it sit. I think she'll be done. Just another job. Then down the back corner there, I'll have to I like mini fuses or MIDI fuses, whatever they call them, because I can solder the connections and everything. Put a fuse in there so the solar panel's coming off the roof. Then I'll put a fuse on where it's coming out, going back to the van. My big solar panel there, she's slowly getting, I don't know if they're cracks or not. I'll have a look, hop down. See the glass, little hairline cracks? I think they are, because you can only see them there, the dust on them. Yeah, she just doesn't like being flexing on the top of the truck. I'll look into getting some different ones. I was going to put this on top of the van, like I said, but it was 33 kilos against 20 kilos. And I'll see how that goes. That's 360 watts up there. Oh, what I've seen of it, it probably might give me 20 amps maximum from the two panels. I should have probably went and bought new ones and put up there 200s or 220s or 230 new ones, high voltage ones. Might have been getting 30 amps, but trouble is, you know, you go and put that up there and then you park your van in the shade and it's no good to you. This is the type of fuse I like, so that's this type here. Yeah, the fuse goes in between here and then the terminal, these terminals here. Don't know if you see them in there. There's time to focus. You solder them to your wire and then they bolt there and then your fuse goes between them and these two blocks are joined together. Yeah, I like them ones. Other than that, like I said, I just got to put the tyre carrier, there's a bit of it over there. It's got to be shifted. It was shifted from the front under the back. Put the tyre carrier under her. And then she's just about done. I'm going to weigh her then. Then I'm going to pull that solar panel off, I think I've said. Take it off and then take the cage off and do it back up to do the, for the boat to go on. Extend these posts here a little bit. They're going to go up. Oh, I might even get away with leaving them like that actually. I'll see. I wouldn't mind them twice that height. I might even, like I said, give her a rough sanding again. Hit her with some paint. Yeah, just see where I can get the tinny on there. A bit better mounted. Oh, I'll have a play with that. But like I said, once I put that spare tyre under here, this old girl's basically done. Yeah, I used all bloody stainless bolts up there, stainless. I ended up going 5 bolts to bolt that on. I don't know why. I could have went away with 3. I got a bit carried away. They're only little 5mm bolts. But I drilled a hole, so I just thought I'd fill them back in. Anyway, she's basically there just letting the glue go off, thicker. Yeah, just let her sit there for 24 hours now, 48 hours. And then, like I said, I've got to put a fuse up here where it goes into the roof. I'll put that fuse. I'll sicker it to the roof, get it all set up, and then I'll just sicker it on the roof. And it won't move. And I'll probably end up cutting these wires, splice them into that, and put that up there. And a little bit of tinned wire. I know I might have to order a bit more for camping, and I might have to. Depends how many fridges we go when we go away. If we take a few more, I might have to take a couple more panels. Just carry them on top of the car, or in on the beds, or the boat in here on the beds, on the bed, and you just have to unload them every night. But we'll work on it. Okay, that or I've got to just spend me money and buy some good fold-up ones, 2 or 3 400-watt solder fold-up ones that take up no room and come in a bag. So we'll see. We'll work on it. I'll let you know. Okay, thank you for watching. Thanks for the new members. Like I said the other day, catch you later. Morning guys, Tonk here. Just let that sit now for muddy. The solder and everything for 24 hours. Had that heap of weight on it. Hold that down to hold this on. Now today's little job is I've got to solder undo this and solder a fuse in here. A MIDI or a MIDI fuse in there. I'll go and get it. Yeah, I'm going to put it just there. Hopefully that works okay. Flex it down there like that, just on the power wire. I was going to join into here, but what I might do up underneath there, I've got an Anderson plug. I might pull that back and connect it to a to a shorter lead that I've got here, and that'll reach around here, and I might even drill a hole here, or I might not yet. I might just come around the end, come around here, come around like that, hold them together. It'd be nice to go through there and poke them through there so it's all nice and neat, but I'll see. I might have to cut these off yet, cut these ones off and resolder them, but I want to make them so I can take them off. So anyway, I'll work on that. I set them up so I could test them, and the only trouble is I'm not a great lover of Anderson plugs. They are good, but over time they start to wear and they drop a bit of volts coming through them. But it's the only way, if you ever want to take them off and use these off the roof when you go north, you're in the shade, you want to take these off because you need extra power. You've got to be able to have them so you can pull them apart, get them down off this system, and then use them with another system that's got Anderson plugs. So yeah, that's what you got to do. That's what happens. Is you got to. It's a bit complicated when you haven't, when you just haven't got a complete setups for one and then using others. It's different when I'm travelling by myself because I've got plenty of room to throw solar panels in the boat. But I'm trying to get this set up so I can carry the tinny on there, the outboard in the front, solar panels here, but then I've got my scales to weigh the back axle weight and everything. So I just got to work out where the solar, and I don't want to go and carry 2 or 3 big solar panels in here every night that we got to unload them when we're travelling. So I may even have to go and buy a couple of blankets or something like that. I'll work on it. I'm not a great fan of blankets, although they've come a long way in the last few years. But I've never owned one because I've watched me mates with them and they just don't perform. But, you know, having said that, they never had good controllers on them. A good controller is everything when it comes to solar. Alright, I'll leave you with it. I'll have a play with that and show you what I end up doing. So I might end up having, I'll go and get it. I'll just turn this off for a second. Alright, this is what I've got here. I've got one cable there I could use with an ando plug on it. And I don't think I've got any more. I've got pins, but no plugs. So I'll see what happens. I might have to do a short one up. I'll work on it. Yeah, they're all connecting still. Anyway, it's just a matter of working out. I might have to cut and solder a couple there. Yeah, that's what I'll have to do. I might have to bring this one up and then put him onto the fuse, and then he can come around and connect to. I would have loved. I might have to join into him with another Anderson plug yet. I might have a short one here somewhere, but if it's somebody else has done it, I'll have to pull it apart because it won't be soldered, and I hate having non-soldered Anderson plugs. They just play up on me every time, doesn't matter, so I just solder them. I've cut that many pieces and I've used that many bits. See what happens, see what I can find. Okay, I just got to make it so if I ever want to take these 2 off at the top, I can take them off and they're still usable. Right, I'll catch you later. Right, this is the sort of gear you're going to need. You're going to need Anderson plug and a bit of wire, either that soldering iron, set of cutters, set of strippers, some good heavy duty flux core solder. That's a real big thick one, that'd be 4mm thick, on a little Bontine burner if this one doesn't heat it up hot enough. That's what you need. So I've got to cut that one off at a certain length, hook this next one into there, bring them round, and then that'll allow me to have them that they can come off. And if I never take them off, it doesn't worry me. But I've got the option, if I ever get somewhere and this is in the full shade, I can pull those 2 panels off and give me 360 watts or 10 to 20 amps of extra power depending on the day. And then I might have to just, like I said, invest in a couple of solar blankets or come up with a different. If I can fit them on the Toyota under the boat and I've got 50 or 60 kilos or 100 kilos spare on the axle weights and the GVMs, well, I'll just put them on the top of the truck and carry the solar panels with me. Yeah, that's what'll happen. But like I said, I've got to figure all that out as I go and make sure I've got You know, you need a little bit up your sleeve. You want to have full tanks, everybody in, fridges, everything full, so you're at maximum capacity when you weigh yourself, and have leeway, so that when you get pulled up, the only thing that's going to happen after that is you're going to be lighter, so you know you're right. You don't want to be filling up or being half full or buggerising around, and then when you get up there you go, oh, we'll buy bloody 2 slabs of water or 3 slabs of drinking water or something like that, or more food, and bingo, when they pull you up, you're over. Because these pricks that weigh you, well, to be truthful, I only got weighed that once and I was let off, so I can't say pricks, I take that back, I'm sorry about that. But I have heard and have never been weighed again since, so I'll see what happens, you know, when I do get pulled up. But I want to make it that I know I'm legal. That's what I'm trying to say. Righto, I'll do this and show you what I've done. Some sort of concoction here. Righto, I've spliced this one into this one. 2 positives together, 2 negatives coming straight through. It's been all taped up. Now I've just got to solder that onto there so it goes into here. This all gets tucked back underneath there, and I'll put a bit of sticker on that to hold it in position. I'll let this dry here and sticker that down, because I've been pouring water on to cool it down. I might just set that up over here. You might see it, I'm not sure. Then I'm just going to use the flame, too hot, just that little flicker like that. And I want to bring some solder back this way, so it runs down in here through the hole at the top. Get it on there. Once see that's going in that hole. See, it's coming out there now. That's nearly soldered. There you go. She's full. Just a little tickle. There you go. That's all she needs. See how she's all bulging out there full of solder? That's good. I crimped it first to hold it in position. Then I just solder and she comes out there. That's what I love about soldering. Now I still tape that, poke those little, see those little trim these, you might see them, but just here the little wire sticking out, they can give you trouble. Tip a bit of water on that just to cool it, because that'll be red hot. Pain a bum having to wet things, but if you want a good connection, you got to get that heat into it. So that's what I've done here. I've soldered it the same here. It's bolted in there. I'll dry this up here and the sun will dry it out. I might sticker it on there tomorrow. Look at that, see? Beautiful solder join that. Considering it's hard. These are the perfect ones to get. If you use a Pyrrhus or something like that, you turn them up the other way and you heat them up so they fill up with solder. But these have got holes in them. But anyway, yeah, so that's nearly done. I'll just tape that up a bit, wipe that down, dry that, and go and get a bit of towel and paper now and dry this up, and the sun should dry it out. Okay, and then I'll bolt this together. Then I'll go and plug my solar regulator in and see if she's getting power. Righto, this has got to have a bit of conduit around it to here, a little bit over that. And I'll Sikaflex that down. This might even be pinned back here with a little saddle, and this one here too. That's got that fused in. I'm not sure what size it is, they only had one size. I forgot to read it. Hopefully it's only 20-30 amp, if that. Probably only needed 20 amp, so it blows pretty quick. I know it's up here in the weather. I would have liked it down somewhere else. I probably could have tucked it back up underneath there, but it wouldn't fit, so that's the end of that. I might have to put a little bit of something over that. I'll see how that goes. I can always change it if it's not good enough. But yeah, just depends how well these things weather. I've got one under the flopping bonnet of the truck. It's 80 degrees in there every day, all day, every day, and it's been there for a while. Been going good. Alright, I just got to hook that up and see if she's pumping any powers. Like you can see, very terrible cloudy day, so I don't think there'll be much coming in. And that's about her. Now I'm just going to back her up here in a minute and mount that bloody spare tyre, or carry her back up underneath the back of it instead of in the front. Behind the flopping front axle, so it counterlevers a little bit to the drawbar, and if it falls off it doesn't buddy punch a hole up in the floor. Yeah, I don't know where it is. It's that frame over there. To me it seems a bit light, but I'll put it under and I'll put a couple of little bits of chain. I've got it here around with a couple of D-links as added bonus. Alright, I'll probably show you that when it's finished. I won't go into too much detail on that. I don't know if I'll put it in there, and then if it's no good I'll cut it out and make one better. But it's what I got now, and I like using what I got. Change it if it's no good. And we won't be going anywhere till April, May next year, so we've got 5 months to change my mind if I want to. So yeah, I'll do that when I think about it. Okay though, catch ya. There you go people, 22 volts. I'm getting through that system now because I've taken out, other than these two here crimped that are just clamped and I can't do anything about them, everything else is soldered. Even including having a couple of Anderson plugs in it, which are not the best, but I'd rather Anderson plugs that are soldered than not crimped. And this up here is all soldered, everything's soldered. The best I used to get out of this system before was 16.5 volts. Now I'm getting 22. So that just totally vindicates me why I solder. I picked up 4 volts there, and over a small system, over a fair distance to travel, 4 volts, you might think it's a lot of voltage drop, but there you go, she's gone up to 22.1 volts. With these MP controllers, the more volts you got above what it needs, some of them, and I'm not sure whether it's the Victron or these, they convert that extra volt into amps. I was told. How true, I'm not sure. And that's why they punch above their weight when it comes to putting out more amps. So, yeah, look at that. Completely cloudy day. It's only doing 2 amps. But this battery's chock-a-block anyway. 4.4 volt, 14.4. Doesn't need it. I don't know what I can hook up to make it pull a bit of draw, but yeah, no, she's... I'm happy with that now. I was a bit sad with that setup before. I was only getting 16.5 volts and from a 12 volt setup, and they should be 19 or 20 open array. So now I've done that because I was nearly thinking of doubling up and going 32 or 40 volts, and it was just a matter of swapping around positive, negative, positive up there and getting that, because that'll handle 100 volts. But I'm happy with that now. That's pretty good. I'll leave it at that. I just go up there now. See, I've put some tubing on it. I'll take that in position. Don't know whether to pull that down there, or I don't know whether I should put a hole through here, slop this down and come through, or I just cable tie him just there. Might just cable tie him down there out the road. Later on I'll flex that one in position there so he doesn't move. Put a bit of tape around that. Might even come around there. As long as he's just sitting there and he doesn't flap. So yeah, that's all good. Alright, I'll let that sit there all day and before I take those bits of wood off. And she'll have it 24 hours then. Alright then, I'm glad you enjoyed these videos. I hope you enjoy them, sorry. I'm going to keep making them anyway. So if you want something to watch, just have a little tips here and there. There she is, 22.3. I reckon she'd nearly go up to 24. Open array. I didn't check on the back what they were, but I found that once you get good connection right through, a lot of this stuff, I'll shut her down. Pull that out. 22.4. She's slowly climbing as the sun comes out. Oh yeah, I'm happy chap now. I'm glad I did that. I wasn't going to do it. That was using going through their solar connections, which I don't know. I find them crap. Everybody else seems to love them, but because I can't solder them, I find them crap. Anyway, you do what you want. It's your setup. I'm just selling you what I do. Yeah. Okay. Catch you later. Thanks for watching. There we go, guys. Next little project. This is the tyre carrier, and I cut it off to get it out because it was just hard. But I've had to remanufacture some pivot points. These are going to be welded properly. I'll get in and grind these up a bit. I had to go and get my glasses. But I used a couple of old hangers that come off the trailer, and they go on there with a bolt through them, and that welds up like that onto a beam up underneath there. I'll put a bolt through that. Same thing. I'll just put a bolt through it, put a nut on it, and put a spot of weld on the end of it so it won't come undone. One on each side. Had to grind these up, clean them up a bit, wash them up in petrol so they're all covered in grease, which doesn't worry me. But I'm just doing that. That swings up, like comes up underneath there like that then, and the tyre goes in there, and it comes up, and this little winch cable winds her up, and then I'll just get a bit of chain like I was saying here, put around there, put a little D through it for a bolt as a safety. I just got to make sure they're good welded that end. I had a little bit of pipe here that I got off a mate's trailer. It was holding something down, a bit of heavy wall. What's that, 2 mil? Bit of 1/2 inch pipe, galvo. And well, you can see how thick that stuff is. It's only like 1 mil, 1.5, 1.2. So yeah, just got to go steady, I don't burn holes in it. I just got to weld it properly. Like I said, I went and got my glasses, and she just goes up under here, right up there. That furthest beam forward, or that one going across, then I've got to see that a little bit further along. There's like a half bit. I've got to nick that and pulling it out, and it's got to come back and be welded in here, which goes on the back. I'll go in and show you. It comes up. That one's on the back of this one. That one there that I'm pointing to, he gets nicked out. He comes and gets welded in here, and then I've got to prick a little bit of steel, and whatever I've got will go right through, and he welds right in and picks them up like that piece. I might even have to buy a little bit of channel. I've got a bit of box there, but oh god, it's 3 mil. It only needs to be 2 mil like it is. And see if I can weld it in there. I just got to do little tacks. And then I realised I put these over here. I got to take that. I put that in upside down, but that's nothing much. I can put them in. But yeah, and then I can get in. Just got to nick that one. So yeah, I'll get at it. I'm nearly done. And then I'll bring those two up in here and weld them on. Yeah, so all fun and games. I'll do one at a time and just sit them up in there and clamp them in position. Hopefully they'll fit. Alright, just poke along steady. No rushing with this old fella these days. Although, what I call steady might be fast for others, and what I call fast is steady for others. So, alright. And the good thing about it, if these aren't quite in line, I can humour them a little bit up, like on that beam. I can humour them that way or this way a little bit on the chassis, so they'll fit. So, oh well, I just got to get my glasses on and weld them properly. Just nice and weld. Righto. Well, just about finished and that welder died. I won't tell you what I did to it, but holy heck, I give it a flogging. Had it for years. Anyway, she's got her innards popping out. She's buggered. She's off to the dump. My mate gave me this one. I just plugged a set of leads in out of another welder I had there, and I had it as backup if this one didn't work. Plugged it in and switched her on, away she went. I still had to have a little play around with the settings, but I think it's in there. I think the tyre carrier's in there. I welded it up, and then I put a bit of 2B1 down the middle to hold it. The welds aren't the best. For some reason the welder was playing up, and there's that heavy galvo. Those little bits are so heavy galvoed. I think I welded some of them, and then the plates that I was trying to weld were only like 1.5 mil, so they just to blow away as soon as you turn the heat up a bit. But anyway, she's in, and it's behind the axle. It's 25 kilos the tyre, plus the frame, which is another 4, so there's 30 kilos there behind the axle this time instead of in front of the axle. So that should drop the tear weight, the drawbar weight back to 130 kilos or something, or still at about 150, because I forget how much steel was in that. It might be 20 or 30 kilos. So that tyre sort of makes up for that steel I put in there, and gives it a little counterbalance, take a bit of weight off the drawbar. That's me for the day. I'm buggered. I don't know. I might come out another day and pull it apart again and do a bit better welds when I feel a bit better, but I'd had enough. I'd been I was going along there pretty well. Everything else welded really well. It was going and good, and then just as this end here, then the winch, the wire on it was all up in sort of crossed over and virtually had to pull the winch apart, get the wire to feed out, so it's working now. I might have to, anyway, it's working, so how good I'm not sure. But yeah, it wound it up and it'll wind it down, and yeah, give everything a bit of a paint. And okay, that's that little job done. I think I've just about finished the van now. All I could do is buy a battery, drop the outboard in here one day, the 15, and see what room I've got, and then whatever size battery fits in there, that'll do it. Might have to fit a 12 volt computer fan in there just to blow a bit of breeze in there, and I think I've got to put some insulation up in there and a bit of carpet on the roof just to keep the heat down so it's not so hot in there, and I might put a fan in there. But I'm not fussed on the fan when I'm driving, because it's going to have no filter, so it's just going to fill that box. But pressurizes it might be alright. The dust mightn't come in. Oh well, thank you. I think this is going to be the end of the caravan ep. Oh, maybe not. There's a little few things I've got to do on this curtain thing at the top. Oh gee, I did me crew it today. I just enjoyed so much smashing that flopping old welder to bits. I've had her for 8-10 years. I didn't want to do it to her, but she just annoyed me that much when she stopped, and I knew I had two backups. So it's been playing up for a while and I've been using it, but today she made a match. Anyway, she's off to the happy welding hunting ground in the sky, the dump. So yeah, catch us later. Thank you very much for watching. See yous. Oh, sorry, it's just starting. Tonky again. I'm just out here. I think I'm nearly completely finished the van. We got our nice new Chemic digital scales. They weigh 1500 kilos in each spot, and I've just gone through her and put them under each tyre. You start off with them, you switch them on like this, then you press this button and then you do that tyre. See how it's flashing there? And then you press this button and it goes to the next one. Then you weigh that one, and it doesn't change until you change it. Lithium battery, fully charged. Then you do the next one, then you do that one, then you just switch her off, and then I weighed the van. Yeah, so I just went round. It's hard to work out the Toyota, but I think I got the back tyre off it, and it's not as much fuel in it. She's down about 100 odd kilos from the weighbridge, but with all the extra steel I put in the drawbar and the springs and that, and I shifted the tyre from in the front to behind the axle, she's now 5 kilos lighter on the drawbar, because I can just slide that under the jockey wheel and it measures the weight. And the van was 860 tear, but now with everything done, she's 947 kg, and that's with that steel there underneath, this steel here under here, beefing it up. So I'm very happy with that. So yeah, I thought she was going to be 140, 150 kilos extra weight, but I removed a lot of stuff out of her. Oh, there was a great heap of stuff in here too that went out of it too. Hoses and electrical cords and stuff that we'll never use. So alright, thank you, catch us later. Woohoo! 120 amp battery, fits up to 120 amp. She's turned up, just waiting for the battery now. And yeah, been painting the roof of the van. The paint just all peeled off the roof of the van. It just that much. The first bit of rain we had on it, it just leaked like a sieve, and it just wet the ply on the roof, and it soaked through the ply and just bloody all the paint. Not all of it, but I scraped off a lot. This will probably let go too, because even this morning when I scraped it off after dinner, now let it dry, it was it was just all terrible and peeled. Yeah, the 120 is going to replace 660 and go in there. Well, probably just like that, just off it. Probably put a bit of timber in the bottom. I might even put a little timber shelf above it, just so I can get my hand in here, and then that'll give it like a bit of heat protection. I might, like I said, put some all that stuff they put on flywheels of cars, or a bit of carpet, and then put a bit of carpet on the roof. Get the heat of that down. That's the paint. Oh, I'll come back up here and turn the light on. You won't see otherwise. No. That's the paint here that peeled off the roof. All that there. I scraped all that off and just come off in big layers. And I've just gone through and it's laying in there. And I've just gone through and there you can see I've scraped it and sanded it. I don't know if it's going to come off again. I probably should have used oil paint so it soaked into the timber and it would stay there better. I'm not a lover of water paint, and that's what water-based paints do when there's moisture under it. Just shit in my opinion. But when you're in a tough situation where you want it to stick, yeah, I reckon you gotta have oil-based paint or terps. If this comes off, I'll just scrape it again and do it with oil-based next time. But it stinks for days. Had a bit of that left. I had an idea I'd probably have to do the roof. Anyway, a lot of it's scraped off. It's been drying for a couple of days up in there, 2 or 3 days, the roof, and then I scraped heap it off and let that dry all morning. See how it goes. Might give her another coat. At least it's better than nothing. Woohoo! Look what showed up. I just had a shower and come out and it's here.
And what's that? A new lithium battery?
For the van.
The battery box that you also bought?
Yeah, it's there. So that's the 2 of them turned up though. It's around $400 for the 2. You could have got this battery I see for $300 and something bucks ex Supercenter. I don't know what that box was worth, but they charge like $30 or $40 delivery on the battery and that box. So anyway, this day and age around Christmas, the amount of traffic around, it's probably worth $30 not to drive down the coast. I'll put that together tomorrow. Woohoo! Now I'm just waiting for my bungee cord for the van. I painted in the van. There you go. She fits in this box a lot better. The 60 amp one had heaps of room. This one's got not much room. I'll end up maybe put a bit of this thin stuff down one end. But I'll do that properly tomorrow. Spray the inside of that roof there with some CRC around the terminals and everything in there. Oh well, I put she's had about 3 coats on the roof now. Now hopefully it stays up there. Oh, I'm not the world's best painter. Never confessed to be. Yeah, she's covered up nice. I think I was just saying before, the battery turned up. Got most things done. I don't know if you'll see up there, but I went around, pulled all the screws out around that and put a bit of secker on them. I think I might have said. That stops them falling out. Then around on the inside up there, I pulled them out and screwed them in on the handles of that. Took the screws out. They were about that long, 30mm long. Must put a bit of sticker on and screwed them back in. Only thing I haven't done is put a bit of sticker on that light shade. I may have to do that because that could fall off. Yeah, I never thought of that. And then around these fans, sticker around them because they'll just fall down. When I get another tube, I've got to sweep her out, clean her up. Yep, slowly getting there, eh? Just chipping away. Really enjoying it. And like I said, the 120 amp battery just turned up today. It was 400 and something bucks. It was 318, I think. You could buy the battery for X the works if you drove there. If it was on sale. Plus it had a battery box. I don't know what they're worth. Not a lot, but I mean, it's just handy to put in the box. I'll put it in that for a start. If it looks like it's going to bash its way out, well, I'll make up a ply box and put it in the ply box because it'll handle being the outboard running into it and a few other things like that. But I just got that for a start in case we went away or something. I can Sikaflex a bit of ply in there and screw the bottom of the box down to that, or sicker it and screw it. Okay, just about finished the van. I know I keep saying that every time I film, but so yeah, so if you watched all these little bits and pieces, thank you very much, and thanks very much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. It helps our little channel out. We're around 600 subscribers. I mean, even if we get to 1,000, we'll monetize it, but the money will go to my son because he does the editing. I don't want anything from it. It was never set up for that. It was more just to film the family and I do it when I go away on my trips to someone. The camera's just someone to talk to. And yeah, when I'm dead and buried years to come, kids will look back and see what the old man used to get up to. Or who knows, that might even be bloody deleted. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I like every now and then I get the video my wife and I shot when we were young up the Cape in the 90s. And I look at the photos of the trips I did with my dad and trips I've done with mates. But yeah, I put the pots, had the pots in the lake again. No crabs for some reason yet, just a bit early or something. Went and got them, pulled them out, give them a wash, give the motor a run. But anyway, like I said, thanks very much for watching, and give us a like and a thumbs up and all those things. Yes, it's awesome really. Everybody has a bit of a chat on there and it's great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Afternoon guys, Tonk here. Just got back from Gympie. I went up and well, actually what I did is I looked on the big green shed, had these things, they're supposed to be. I looked them up and I thought they had them in every shop, but the 2-ton override coupling. Anyway, trailer hitch, sorry. Anyway, I'm taking the Elco one off the van and putting that on because this one's got the thing on it to work the brakes. And I'm not a fan of the Elco one, they pivot round too much. Anyway, it was 114 bucks. But I see them on the big green shed, had them advertised for 97 or something, 87. Typical, when you get there, none in stock. It says it's on in their things on the bloody website. Anyway, enough of that. Then I ordered a 120 amp lithium battery from King's Super Centre. They're about 318 bucks. But then I got the battery box as well, and it was 37 or whatever. It ended up about 400 bucks delivered for the battery box as well. And like I think I showed you on the last one, I like to get in here and see underneath there all that wiring and that. I'll give that all a spray with CRC because around a little bit of salt environment and everything, that will just corrode. These things here will corrode. Squirt a bit of CRC and that'll be pretty good. Oh, and I think I got to cut a bit of foam and put in this box here too. Alright, I'll do that and show you what I did. Well, that come wrapped around in the carton, that foam, and now I just cut a piece and dropped it down each side. So you don't need any that way. But now I'll undo the caps. It says there this battery is charged at 30% due to international shipping standards. Please charge fully before use. Fair enough. Right, and then I'll get some CRC and give all these a squirt. Then I'll bolt them together. There's a little up here, get a shifter, and then I'm going to go down and take that with me. I'll take this one down and I'll just see whether the others, I got to take those grease nipples in. See if I got some here somewhere. I got all these little fellas, but they're not right angle ones. Yeah, well, I might have to buy a couple for that, and so I can grease that, and they might have to be bolted on. Alright, I know I'm doing two things here at once. Right, I'll get a bit of CRC. Oh, my can's just about empty. Bugger. Give all these little, anything in there like that, a bit of a squirt, up in there, anything. This helps bloody, keeps the moisture out of them because of the being outside and that. This is what I do, you don't have to do this. But I'm a bit different to most people, and I don't care whether you do this or not. It's what I do. I'm saying you have to do it. I've just been, pro fisherman and on boats for 40 odd years. I see what happens around the salt water, and yeah, I just do that so it just combats it a bit. Right, she's buggered. Oh, in case you're wondering, there's a bin up there. Righto. Get these things here. Oh, I know it's just as quick to rip the top off. Oh. Righto, that's them. Check he's tight. He goes that way, that one goes that way. Yeah, it might be better. Alright, do him up tight. Of course, they got enough lot of room to sink the ocean around them. Alrighty, I'll switch this off. Then I'll go and put this other thing on. Unbolt the other one, I'll show you. Right. Okay, I've taken the other one off. I had to cut a piece out of here because this has got a piece sticking out there that's touching, so I had to cut a little bit out of there. I'll paint that. I haven't got any paint with me. Go and get 4 high tensile bolts. The previous person that put it on had the bolts going down. Well, how do you see that they're coming undone, people? You put them coming up, and then you put double lock nuts on them, and you can keep an eye on them. See that your tongue's coming, your toe hitch is coming loose on the bolts. Doesn't take much, just a bit of brain power. I don't care what other people say. I like to put my bolts coming up from underneath, nuts on top, then I walk around here and I go, oh, that's loose. I tighten them up. And I like the bolts long enough that I can get double lock nuts on them. See, and these ones here are just long enough. Might be able to get a couple of nuts on them, double lock nut them. Might even take those other ones off and put a little bit skinnier nuts on them. Put 4 nuts on there. But yeah, that's me ready hitch. I took the grease nipples out the other hitch. Somebody had put them in with Loctite. I don't know why. Anyway, they ended up in a good position. But they went back in again. I suppose they put Loctite on them so they don't come undone and fall out. I suppose that's what they did it for. But I can just get the grease gun there and give that a bit of grease. And the beauty of this is now, when I'm using electric brakes, I just have that flap in, like that, see there? Put the flap in for electric brakes, because you don't need it, it's solid. But if anything happens to your electric brakes and you got to go back to override brakes, it uses a cable, because what happens a lot with these electric brakes on the corrugated roads is the magnet falls off or smashes to pieces, or something comes up and cuts the wires, so you got no brakes. So with the cable override, you still got a bit of braking, not much but a bit. I'm not a great lover of override drum brakes. They're as useless as tits on a boar pig, but anyway, they're better than nothing. And even one that's useless is override disc, mechanical disc, and I do see now that they have. I pulled my neighbours apart, had a bit of a look at them, and they had a pin holding the disc pads in, so they were a better setup. I should have got the name of them, not like the old style where she used to just wear a hole and the disc pads would fall out. Yeah, anyway, getting back on the story, I'll probably go and get 4 bolts tomorrow, Sunday. Our local hardware opens. They got a few high tensile bolts. Yes, I know they're 4 times the price of driving anywhere else, but the price of fuel these days, and your time, they might be twice as bolt. But you go and you get them, you come back and do the job, and you just pay that bit extra and you got them. Otherwise, I've got to wait till Monday, then I've got to drive to News, or I've got to drive somewhere else, or I've got to drive over another place. So if they're open tomorrow and they got them, I'll buy them there. And local Mitre 10, they got a bit of stainless steel and a bit of high tensile bolts there, grade 8 or grade 5, doesn't matter as long as they're not mild, just something better. So yeah, even though I have had mild steel on hitches like that for years and no trouble, I'm sure this is what I like to do, like I was saying. See, this one I haven't done it on it for some reason. I broke my own thing. I didn't put a double lock nut on there. Must have never got round to it. But I like to have the bolts up that way. Let's see if I've done it on the other one. Oh, there you go. I done it on this old girl. You bring the bolts up that way and you put the 2 nuts on and you can tell if they're coming loose. Yeah, perfect. I'll do it like that. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll show you when she's finished. Or not finished, but that's just another job out the road. But all I've got to do now really is get a couple of mattresses for her. And we could probably take the ones out of that van and just check the wheel bearings. Even though they went for roadworthy, I'll pull them off and I'll make sure there's plenty of grease and that in them. Even, like I said, even though it's been for a roadworthy and passed, I'm not saying that he didn't do a good job. I just like to check, and then I know. Not that I don't trust people, I just don't trust anybody with my gear. That way I got no one to blame but myself if it's not done. Okay, catch you later. Morning all, Tonk here. Just went down the shop like I was saying and bought a few high tensile bolts. 4 inches the perfect length. See how he sticks up there, and I've got the double lock nuts on him. There's one. I'll change them out. They're high tensile. They're only grade 5, I think. They didn't have grade 8, but considering I've had these things on the front of these vans and stuff like that, and trailers years ago, a lot of them were only bolted on with mild steel bolts. I'm not sure what these are over here. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they're high tensile. I use high tensile these days, but yeah, another job done. Then I think I did say $114 for the hitch. Anybody's after a hitch, one of those over hitches, you're welcome to it. Come and pick it up. It's free. I'm not a lover of them. I would love this if it was hydraulic discs, but and all stainless, the same on my boat trailer. I'd love to do that on there, but you're looking at $1,800 or $1,500, $1,300 for an axle. At least easy. Probably go out to $2,000. You know, it's a lot of money just to have something you use a couple of times a year. Anyway, that's another job. I can't remember what I've got to do now. There's a couple of bolts that's holding my spare tyre underneath. They've got to have another nut on them, change them over, and then I've got to put a bit of chain. It's just as a safety on it. And then I think she's pretty right to go. They're only 2 tonne, but this trailer's only going to be well under 2 tonne. And yeah, the van didn't leak through the storm. Now she's up like that. I'm happy with that. All good. I was just got the other battery in here. She's charging off the MPP controller. The new one we got the 120 ampere. She's sitting there. She's nearly up. 13.9. She's taken a fair bit. Look at that. She was taking 30 amps before. Now she's back to 20. Just the sun, you know, is coming and going. That controller's bloody hot on the back. She's pumping the bloody power in there. So yeah, she might take another hour or two. She was up nearly 14 before, but you know, that's what she needs. She's pumping the amps in. You got to, even though the volts come up, you got to get them amps up. So yeah, I'll leave her on that MPP controller. It's set at lithium LiPo setting. She might have it up there in an hour or two. I'm going to go have a cup of tea. And other little 60, she's back up. She'll come with us for the outboard. Now, one day I just got to, like I said, take the solar panel off, fit the tinny, have it up there, put the fridges in, put us all in, hook the van on, put the outboard in here, and wait, just to see what the weights are. And our scales would only be, they'll be within a few kilos, sorry. Oh, I've got to take a photo. I take photos as well as the video. I don't do enough photos, that's my trouble. Alright, catch you later. Thanks for watching. Morning again. Tonk here. Put those plates on there to give it a bigger surface area to pull off. Now the biggest thing as well is that tab up there is going to be good enough to hold it down. Anyway, I tried my best. I'll end up probably welding a bit of a plate out here onto this, welding a hook out here and coming up, and a bit of rope, hold it down, or a strap. Anyway, today's job is jack the wheel, take the wheels off and check the brakes and bearings. I'm hoping they're fine. It passed the roadworthy, so all I'll probably do is just whack some grease in them and put them back on if everything looks good. Okay, get the jack out. I pulled them both off, checked them. They seemed okay. They had a little bit of a dark stain down the middle of the bearing. It's what, 5 months before we go away. That'll be good enough to run around here in case we do short trips or something, or on the bitumen. But I've already got a set of bearings here. I got one side there. I just get another set, couple of sets, couple of spares, new seals, and I might even whack a new magnet. Yeah, before we go. Depends on where we go, but that's what I'll do. But just running around, it's not worth me doing them now, because then I've got to, in 4 months' time, if I've done a couple of trips, I'll have to check them again. So the ones that are in aren't too bad. I drive around, they don't get hot, they feel good, I just put more grease in them, in around the bearings. So I didn't show you how to pull them apart. There's dozens of those sort of videos online. So yeah, just to show you that I've been safe. I've got the thing under the wheel's still on. Painted the springs while I was in there with a bit of silver frost. Give everything another hit up inside. So righto, another job done. I think I showed you that I did that, yeah. I think I'm not sure. I think I showed you that the battery come. 120 amp battery. It turned up, she's in there. Okay, I don't know if there's much more to show you on the van now. She's get Gavin to whack an episode together or so, my son. Edit her up. I actually got to crawl underneath there when I put it down, and I got to pull a bolt out and put another bolt in here. I'll show you. Up in here, sorry about the ground. See that bolt that goes through that there? I don't know how far it comes through the end of that nut, so it just wants a longer bolt in there, like that one up there. And with the paint around it and the sticker on it, that nut shouldn't come undone because it's not real load bearing. And then I can still get an angle grinder in that one and cut the end off if I have to later on. Up in there you might be able to see it. And this one here, I've got to come in there and put a longer bolt in. I just worked out how to zoom in 1 or 2 times. But see here, I painted these springs with silver frost. Backing plates are painted. Worked a bit of paint around them. So just before we go, I'll give all that a good once over, and then I'll put new bearings in her, and she'll be right then. But see, look how free they spin. They're beautiful. I probably wouldn't do a big trip on them, but if I had nothing else I would. But like I said, I'll replace them. Look at that nice weld there. Because you put this big piece of 8mm angle iron welded to the chassis, then you can weld to this and it won't crack because that's 8mm. And then a full weld along here. Look at that, 10 or 8mm plates, 10mm. Oh, I just like them. Okay, double lock nutted. Sticker on that one so it don't come undone. Okay, I'll replace that bolt and put a longer bolt through there. Alrighty, I keep saying it, but thanks for watching, subscribing. If we got to 1,000, like I said, I wouldn't, and the 20 cents that we made would only go to my son for editing. I'll never take sponsors. So if you're thinking about getting in contact with me, don't bother. I'm not interested in sponsors or anybody getting me to plug their stuff. Anything you'll see here, we've bought the whole lot. We're not interested in bloody plugging something. We'll only plug it if we use it, and we at least used it 12, 18 months, 2 years. Like I can honestly say, the King's gear we've got now, some of the fridges are 2-year-old, Gecko gear 2 or 3 or 4-year-old. Those batteries are just bought, I can't really say. That fridge there is 6 or 8 months old, so I can't get comment really on that, but it's in the truck and it runs. Yeah, these tyres I've been running cheap Chinese tyres. They're about 100 and 200 and something bucks now. Been running them for 25 years. I don't think I've ever got a flat tyre on a trip with them. Yes, I've come home, all different sorts. This is just what I've got on at the moment, but they're all basically 10 ply, 8, all terrain, light Chinese tyres. Those ones there have done the Cape, the Gibb River. If you're going under a trailer like that, just do yourself a favour, don't worry about 6mm rubbish. Just go heavy. If 6mm is all you can afford, put it on. It's better than nothing. Alright there, thank you. Keep waffling on about stuff I know that I think of. There's that bit of chain I was saying I made up with the D-link. I had a D-link here, and it's going to go up under here as a safety. I'll put it up. You mightn't see, but it'll go up and over that one. That's just, it goes around that up there, and that's just a little bit of a safety that holds that tyre in. I could add that a little bit tighter. I might try and do it a bit tighter in a minute, or cut him off a fraction longer cut it 3 lengths or 4 lengths out of him so he fits nicely. These bolts need another nut on top of them here, just so they don't come loose. Alright, some of the wells up there are pretty wild on that setup. I think I've just about done this fan, and I've just about had enough of it, to be quite honest. I've been working on it off and on for days and weeks. Do a little bit. Gonna hook her up and go for a drive now. And then, oh yeah, put them down. But first I've got to push them up to check to make sure the curtain on the inside is not bloody pinched. Then I'm going to put the battery onto this thing underneath there so it doesn't slide. Shove something in there so it don't tip over. Then I'll hook everything up and go for a whirl. Right, all these sort of things you got to do and check them and go over them, and certain things I don't like, certain things I do like. Really what I would love to do is take it for a drag up a dirt road somewhere, see how much dust gets in it. Don't know about these windows, like I said. Don't know whether I've got to tape them up, duct tape across them, so if they crack they don't fall out. I just don't know whether they're ceramic or glass or what they are. Some say they're acrylic, some say they're not. Anyway, catch us later, thank you. Okay guys, Tonk here. See that stuff there? I'm not real happy with it. I thought it was going to be, I hope it was going to be, it would have been better if it was solid. But I seen it on the Nipper website, on the forum, sorry, and the chap said it's a dust thing, and I looked it up and I bought it and put it in here. I only bought 6 meters, but you need 8.5 to go around the roof if you're going to do it. Oh, I've got little bits here stuck on that to hold that from popping out, and then I've wiped some Sikaflex down these seams to seal them up, and because it's Sika it's flexible and it seals the seams up, stop them leaking. I've got to get 3 more meters to finish. I'll put a little bit around here on the corners. It's just to try and stop this aluminium rubbing on the roof. I may even have to, I don't know, this is what holds it in position, but anyway, just working on steady, another job done. And right along there, see? 3 or 4 meters down that run. I had 6. I only just dropped short a couple of meters down here, down that run. So yeah, wasn't too bad. And then maybe later on I'll replace those shockies, gas struts. I got her up at that angle there, so the water runs off the roof, comes to this corner and dribbles down. I may have to dig the Sikaflex out of here and redo that along there, although it hasn't leaked, so I'll leave it be. I think it was coming in these seams, like I said. Alrighty, just another bit getting done. Yeah, all just sort of, I wouldn't do that if I was just on the bitumen, but yeah, right along there. I just got to do, you might see along that piece to the end. It's only 2-point-something meters, but you can only order 1 meter smallest online delivered, so I'll get 3, I'm probably sure. And I've gone along and put Sikaflex, pulled it out and put it under it in a few spots to hold it up, and on the corners I've filled it with Sikaflex to make it a little bit more. I got an idea it's going to pop out, but for under $100 just to try it, and if it plays up and pops out and I come back, I may have to just completely fill the whole thing along there with Sika. Just squeeze it into that and fill it, and then let that go off, and then come along and then put another, or up on top here on that flat piece, run around there with a piece of like rubber lay flat hose, like just flat rubber, hard sort of insertion rubber, so it sits down and rubs on that. If this plays up, probably get 1 trip out of it. See how it goes. Alright, catch us later. Morning everyone, Tonk here. This is 3rd of January now, 2026. You'll be probably watching this video. My son's just edited, and I don't think we ever did a complete update on it. So the van now has got the new hitch. Now I like these because you got the that can come out, and if your electric brakes fail, this thing here can then slide and still activate the It's got still pivot that way, so if the van rolls, it can and don't tip the vehicle over or whatever they go on about. These are just so easy to put on. Still locks with the lock there. Still activates the handbrake. I love these. See, double lock nutted on there, double lock nutted with the bolts up this way. Righto, there's as I was telling, I've put a plate on there and screwed it and glued it. I've got a battery in there. That battery's got to be bolted down, but all the wires come through and everything. I still haven't done that. What I was saying, I don't know whether I'm going to change this a bit yet. The top up here, solar panels are finished right through. This is the latest thing I just found. What was happening is this was having water about 10 mils deep sit on the whole roof when it was level, and I didn't realise this was just a hard plastic thing. So I've got to go around and I'll do it to them all the corners, and I'll cut in here with the angle grinder and then I'll seal it over with a bit of Sikaflex, and that'll let that, whichever way the van's laying, it'll let the water drain off the roof, so it won't sit and it won't find its way in there somewhere. That's that done. Just got to get down here without breaking my neck. Now I've got to turn this on. Yeah, it's got the 120 amp King's lithium in it, and all that's going to do is run the lights and the fans. So that's all it's got to do. Oh, don't worry about me dirty footprints, but she's all been painted. You would have seen just different mattresses out of different vans. We haven't quite got another mattress we've got to give up the front. That's the van done. I've painted the roof as well. Oh yeah, and all around, everywhere around has been sealed around the doors. I've got to do still got a couple to do. And under here, oh yeah, there you go, your spare tyres under the back. Everything's double lock nutted. I shifted the spare tyre from in the front to behind the axle. So everything's just about done on the old girl. I'll just turn that off. So yeah, I shifted these. That's been on there, I'm not sure. New rubber, that's that, you can see that dark shape. There's a whole new rubber being slid in underneath to seal the roof off. Yeah, so everything's just about finished. She's ready for a trip. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully the family and I get to do 2 or 3 good trips in 2026. Go up to Cape in April. As soon as the wet's around, it's not open, we might go to the Kimberley, or we might go to Manangora in the Gulf. Just see what happens. And if we're not up there, we'll be home, and if it's cold weather, we'll be going to Inskip for buddy 2 and 3 weeks at a time, crabbing and whiting fishing. So righto, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good year. See ya.